Welcome back to Dmac Mad Gaming. I'm your host, Dmac, and here we believe gaming is a lifestyle, not a hobby. And today we're talking about the controversies surrounding pre-orders in the gaming community. Right now in the gaming community, there's a big heated debate about pre-orders, and while pre-orders is a thing of the past, and half of the gaming community feel like we should stop pre-ordering games altogether. They feel like it's a money grab for developers and publishers. They feel like it's hurting the gaming industry as a whole. While others here feel like they're talking out the side of their necks, it's all subjective, and it's not hurting the gaming industry, and it's not hurting anyone if someone wants to still pre-order a game. So we're going to talk about both sides, because both sides have some really valid points, but it's still all subjective to me. And I'm going to tell you the reason why in this video today. So let's start. Let's talk about the side that's talking about pre-orders is a thing of the past because of digital distribution, because the game industry is trying to move from physical sales to digital sales. They're trying to get rid of physical copies of games altogether. That's where the game industry is going in the future, to only digital distribution, selling games only digitally. And a lot of people feel like in the gaming community that this is not fair because a lot of people still like physical copies of games. Me, myself, I love physical copies. I have more physical copies of games than I have digital games. But I'm not saying that digital games is a bad idea. I'm not saying if they only go to digital games that it's going to hurt the gaming industry as a whole and hurt the gaming community. Because it's not. It's just a subjective opinion. Because even if they go to digital copies, I'm going to still want to play some of my favorite games. And if I only have one option, and that's digital, by buying a digital game, I have to buy a digital game. Because that's where the game industry is going. They want to get rid of physical copies. They want to get rid of the third party. Other people making money off of their games without giving them any money from it. And that's where the gaming industry is going. Now we had a debate about that in the gaming community as well, but not as heated as this pre-order controversy. And I don't understand that because it's the same thing. It's still subjective. Even though people still like to pre-order their games, it doesn't mean it's going to hurt the gaming industry. It's not going to make the game developers and the publishers think any different about how they want to release their games or how they want to make their games. The logic behind this thinking is that because gamers are pre-ordering games without understanding what the game is about and pre-ordering on faith alone is the reason why these developers and publishers are publishing unfinished games, unpolished games like Mass Effect Andromeda. And for this video, we're going to use Fallout 76. Now, Bethesda just announced that they're releasing a game called Fallout 76. Bethesda released it maybe a month or two ago before E3, and people started pre-ordering it like that. I mean, pre-orders went through the roof. Millions of people was pre-ordering this game before knowing anything about it. All Bethesda said was they were working on Fallout 76, and people was pre-ordering it right out the gate. And the other half of the gaming community is thinking to themselves, why are you pre-ordering a game and you don't know nothing about this game? You got no information about this game but where it's taking place. That's all you know. You don't know about the game mechanics. You don't know about the narrative structure. You don't know what you're going to be allowed to do. You don't know if there's going to be any microtransactions or loot boxes in the game. But you just pre-order it because it's Fallout. And that's what a lot of gamers do. They pre-order games on the love of the developer and publishers that make their favorite games. Just like with Naughty Dog Studios. Everyone in the gaming community love Naughty Dog Studios. There's a majority of the gamers in the gaming community love Naughty Dog Studios because of the games that they have made. And they know that when Naughty Dog Studios come out with a game, it's going to be a game that they're going to enjoy playing. So they put their money down for it because they go off of faith. They go off the love of the games of the company that they know make their games, and they know that they're going to make games that is particularly for them. And that's how it's always been. That's why the gaming industry has grew so much in the last couple of years, because gaming is the new entertainment media, and it's continue to grow. And that's because you don't understand the reason why they pre-order. Doesn't mean that they're not thinking logically. Doesn't mean that they're stupid, and they don't need your harsh criticism. Now, I've seen a lot of articles and read a lot of comments in the articles. I've seen a lot of YouTubers talk about this, and I read some of the comments in the comment section. And people are upset on how people are trying to tell them that pre-order is stupid. It has no real value because of 2018 and because of digital distribution, digital sales. They feel like there's no need for pre-orders, but there are a need for pre-orders. Some people pre-order just for the bonus, for the extra things they get for pre-order. Some people pre-order because they still like physical copies and they want to make sure they are guaranteed a copy. And I know the whole thought behind around this. Well, the developers and publishers are setting out enough games to cover every gamer. Not necessarily. There have been times where I have waited a day or two after the release date to go get a game because when I went the following day, they were sold out. So that's still as relevant is today as it was in the past. That sometimes when you buy a physical copy of a game, if you don't pre-order it, you don't get a copy. And I know you guys are going to say, well, that don't make no damn sense because it's been evidence shown. Not every game is measured. Not every game is put down on a data sheet. Not every game that come out, they send multiple copies of the game. Now, when it comes to multiplayer games, yes, they send a lot of copies out because they know majority of the gaming community love multiplayer games. But for those who like narrative-driven games, we don't always get a large amount of copies sent out on release day, especially when there's not enough pre-orders stating that they need these many copies. Retailers have to buy these copies from the publisher and the developer of the game. They have to put money up here and then get the games and make their money back. That's how business works. So to say that pre-orders it's not relative in today, it's just really talking outside of their necks. They have not really thought about it logically. Now let's talk about those who are for pre-orders. And the reason why they feel like pre-orders is still valid, still relevant. Some people buy pre-order games just for the pre-order bonuses. Like for me, when I pre-ordered Detroit Become Human, the physical copy, I wanted the special edition. And with the special edition, I got a theme for my PlayStation. A theme of Detroit Becoming Human that I have on my PlayStation now. When I turn on my PlayStation, I see the Detroit Becoming Human characters. And I got that with a pre-order bonus. You see what I'm saying? Some people still value pre-order bonuses. They find value in that. The other half of the gaming community feel like they value stuff that has no real value. It's still subjective. Just like it's subjective about digital games from physical copy of games. It's all subjective. Pre-order bonuses is an incentive for those who go out there and buy games. And then I hear these stories about extreme stories about how sometimes when you pre-order a game and then if the game is canceled, retailers don't give you your money back. I never heard that happening. Never heard that happen in any area that I lived in where the retailers that you had a pre-order for a game will not give you your money back. If they don't give you physical money, they give you in-store credit. Their policy may be they don't give the cash back for pre-orders, but they give you maybe in-store credit because of their policies. It depends on a retail store. For me, Best Buy and GameStop, if I want my money back on the game, I can get my money back on the game. I remember I went to GameStop one time to buy God of War, the new God of War that came out. And one of the guys said, you still got $5 down on the game that you never picked up. What do you do with that $5? I said, give it back to me in cash. He gave it back to me in cash. These extreme stories about how and you pre-order a game and then the game is not released or you don't pick up the game, you can't get your money back, that's bullshit. That hardly ever happens. And for people to sit up there and talk about that's another reason why you shouldn't pre-order games, and it's hurting the game industry. And for them to feel like that pre-ordering is the reason why the developers and publishers are releasing games as unfinished, unpolished, is a bunch of bullshit. There's no empirical evidence proving that is the reason why we get unfinished games. As we looked into these stories, there was several reasons why these games were unfinished. With BioWare, the team didn't know what the hell they were doing. They was trying to do something bigger than what they was expected to do, and they fucked it up. The same thing with BioWare with Star Wars Battlefront 2. They wanted to keep the game relevant. They wanted to be gamers to continue playing the game even after the game gets old. So that's why they implemented microtransactions and loot boxes into the progress system of the game. That's what they tell you. But the real reason was because they wanted you to pay more money to get the best equipment you can get to be the best. Because multiplayer is competitive. And people play multiplayer games to be competitive. And that's the whole reason why I'm there. To make these bold statements that pre-orders is the reason why we get unpolished games, unfinished games. It's a bunch of bullshit. There's no empirical evidence proving it. But if you found some data charts that is proving this, I would love to see these data charts. Leave a link in the comment section below. Leave a link to these articles that have these data charts on this. to prove me wrong because I don't see it. But that's my opinion on it. I think it's all subjective. It's just as subjective as digital games from physical games. People feel like digital games has a lot more cons to it than pros. And some people feel like having a physical copy is the same thing having a digital copy because the pros and cons still apply to physical copies as well. And there's been evidence proving that that's the truth. But does that mean that physical copies is hurting the gaming industry? It's hurting the industry as a whole? No. And is digital copies is going to be the ruin of the gaming industry? No. There's no evidence proving it. And that's the same thing when it comes to pre-orders. It's all subjective. It's all what people want to believe. There's no real evidence proving this. And that's what I think about. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section below. Do you still pre-order still relevant? Do you still pre-order your games at retail stores? Do you pre-order games at the retail store for physical copies or digital copies? Love to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for sending to the end of the video. Make sure you hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. Make sure you share this video. That helps out the channel a lot as well. Make sure you hit the notification bell, subscribe button to be notified when I upload more videos like that. My name's Dmac. You've been watching Dmac's Mad Gaming. And as always, keep gaming. I'm out.